As a business owner, you're probably wondering, how do you make more money online by using Instagram? You're probably creating a ton of content and nothing seems to move the needle inside of your business, and you're not making the money that you want to. So in this video, I'm gonna explain and break down exactly how you can start making a ton of money from Instagram by simply leveraging a couple things. Hello, my name is Josue Pena, founder of Online CEOs, and for those that don't know me, I've been on Instagram since 2012, 2013, and I've been in business since 2016. And since then, I've been able to sell over $50 million for myself and our clients, which has been super, super awesome, and all because of Instagram, which is pretty insane to even think about. So in this video, what I wanna do is break down the process that we use for every single person that wants to grow and monetize their following online on Instagram and wants to sell more of the products and services as a business owner. Now, as we all know, content is king. And it's extremely important that you know which type of content you need to create, because you don't want to be spinning your wheels all the freaking time. So there's really three main types of content. Content number one is original content. Content that you make from scratch and is all about you and your brand. Now, there's pros and cons to this. Pros is you control it all and you build trust and likability pretty easily. The con is that it takes a ton of time and it's harder to grow with this kind of content. So it's not really recommended for growth purposes in terms of following. Now, type of content number two is reshared content. Is sharing other people's original content. When you see something viral that goes on in your niche, boom, you reshare it. Obviously, always giving credit. The pros to this is that it's very, very easy to grow because you're already using pre-existing viral performing posts and it's easy to emulate. Now, the con of that is that you don't gain as much trust and credibility if you research too much, meaning it is harder to sell and harder to monetize. So it's not really recommended for sales and conversion. And you see the dichotomy here. One is better for growth, the other one is better for sales. So which one do you use? And this is where we have a mix of content. Original content that emulates the traits of top performing posts. A plus B equals C. This is exactly how Ecom Dave is able to do $500,000 a month from Instagram alone in his online business after being laid off as a bartender when the pandemic started.
It's your boy Ecom Dave. I just want to say, since I started GSA, I have made $19,000. Look at that, boom. And I still have 5,000 more to collect. Yes, it does work. And even with this whole COVID-19 stuff happening, I was still able to scale my business. Thank you, Josue. Thank you for showing me the way. Give it a try. Invest in yourself. You won't regret it.
And that is exactly how, for example, Hansel right here was able to make $11,000 in just 24 hours as a relationship coach.
Made me 11K in one day off of one story.
Whoa!
Thank you so much, bro. That was the best day of my life, too.
I appreciate it.
So if you're thinking about it, get on it. He's the shit. He knows what he's talking about. And I've made more money than that, but that day I just made so much and it was just like super impactful. So
now let me explain to you the different types of content of how they interact with each other. What I love, for example, about reshared content is that it typically helps the original post or original person who created the content on Instagram. And it allows you to create a relationship with him, which is pretty cool. This is how I even connected, for example, with Ronaldinho back in 2017. When I have a big football page and I was resharing his content. And it also draws more eyes to your own original content because of the same reason. This is how we grew, for example, one of our pages before we sold it, called World of Artists. When we owned it, it had over 2 million followers, one of the biggest art pages in the world, and we sold it. And also, for example, one of our brands, Daily Art, it has over 6 million followers on Instagram. And the main artist or the founder of that brand is able to get a ton of exposure for his own personal brand called Ronald Restituyo. So as you can see, reshared content also gives you a ton of attention for your own original content. And this is why I love mixed content so much, because it accomplishes both goals of reshared and original content while gaining growth, while gaining trust, and also growing a ton. So in short, post original content when you want to build rapport and trust, and reshared content when you want to focus on follower growth. Now, you might wonder, Josue, that's cool and all, I grow my following, but now how do you make some money? Well, here's where the product and services come into play. Your product and service must be what we call a high ticket offer. AKA, you need to be selling it for a minimum of $2,000. And how do you do that? The more done for you elements that you have in your product and service, the better. For example, people will pay $25,000 for a plastic surgery versus going to the gym, but at the end of the day, they both achieve the same thing. They both give you a bigger booty and abs. But people are prepared to pay $25,000 versus eating healthy and go to the gym because it's gonna take longer in the gym versus the surgery. You fall asleep, you wake up, and done deal. So that is why it is so important to package your product and service in the right way. way because it allows you to charge premium prices and high ticket. Now, number 2, you need to make sure that you position your business and your product and offer what we call a 3P statement, meaning person, problem, promise. Person, identify who you help. Problem, identify the issues that you help that person solve. And promise, identify the vision or promised land that you're gonna help that person achieve. For example, one of our clients, Lady Boss, they help women love themselves again. Pretty straightforward 3P statement. Another one of our clients, Ecom Dave, he helps people make passive income on Amazon. Pretty easy. For example, in our own social closer certification program, we help people break their 9 to 5, achieve financial and location freedom by simply leveraging other influencers' audiences and making high ticket commissions in return. Again, pretty straightforward. Now that you have your content that's helping you grow and build trust, and you also have the product and service high ticket and your 3P statement, now let's talk about pre-selling. How do you use your content and your Instagram account in order to sell more? Now, the number one thing here is obviously the content needs to be in line in order to pre-sell your product and service in the right way. Meaning you need to tell them what they need to know in order to work with you, and most importantly, what problems they're currently facing right now in their life that you will help them solve. And simply from there, you create content that educates them. This is a great way to build trust with your audience, educate your audience, and have them see you as an expert in your field and industry. You can pretty much offer free tools, free checklists, free ebook, and how about even a double whammy effect here? For example, it's our own company, Online Sales. We give away this full course and guide, Grow Your Gram, where it teaches people exactly how to grow and monetize their following by using Instagram, and even shows you step-by-step how we made over $70,000 in 7 days with a tiny following just on Instagram. So if that's you and you want this, just DM me the word YouTube on my Instagram and I'll send it over to you right away. Now, the next step on your content, it needs to make sure that your content is different from everybody else. And not different like overly different. You don't need to recreate the wheel. It just has to be unique to you, your personality, your style, and your values. Now, here's something very, very cool. If you're starting from zero and maybe you don't have your program, product, or service already created, you can even sell it before you make it, discount it, and test the waters in the market to see if people actually like it or not. That way you don't have to spend tons of hours, tons of money creating something that nobody wants. Again, if you would like to find out all the process for how to pre-sell, DM me the word YouTube on my Instagram and I'll send you that entire guide right now. Now, I mentioned before that it's also right here in this entire book, a full-on case study on how we did $70,000 in just 7 days. So I'm gonna break it down to you right here as well. One of the first strategies that we use is something that we call IG story webinars. Webinars in the internet marketing community, for those that don't know, have made millions and millions of dollars, but I like to take a very simple 15-second video, record it with your phone, that we call Instagram story webinar. Now, what we do here is we just simply give value, pre-framing the audience with our products and services. We tell a story using micro interactions like polls, questions, and then we drop a call to action at the end with testimonials that basically says, hey, DM me if you want XYZ. And then from there, we have a ton of automations that take care of the rest. Also, in these IG story webinars, we also use a transformational story. Maybe a story from one of your clients, and maybe stories from people that took your program in the past of how it changed your own personal life, and showing you examples of how it can change other people's lives as well. Again, going back to the 3P statement, person, problem, promise, you want to show the promise. Now, here's something that a lot of people make a lot of mistakes on, and that is in the follow-up. Because they do the Instagram story, they put the pre-sale, they do all these things, but then they forget follow up with the people that were actually interested. And the reality is that most people will not buy the very first time around. You need to constantly remind them. For example, if you go on a date, probably you're not gonna expect that person to marry you tomorrow. Meaning, you gotta constantly be following up. You go from, dating casually to dating more, serious, boyfriend and girlfriend, then fiance, and then finally you get married. Same thing, you gotta constantly be showing up and following up in order to close the deal. Now, you want to see the full-on breakdown of how we did $70,000 in 7 days in the full Instagram story webinar, exactly step-by-step, the entire script, all that good stuff. And most importantly, also how on another pre-sale launch with same thing, Instagram story webinars, we did over $400,000 in just 10 days. DM me the word YouTube on my Instagram and I'll send you over those 2 free case studies plus this full guide and course. And that's it. Those are the steps that you need to take in order to make sure that you're not only growing your following in the right way, but most importantly, that you're selling and making money from Instagram. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter how many likes you get. If you're not able to put cash in the bank, make that ka-ching from your social media, in my opinion, it's pointless. So make sure that you go out there and start implementing these exact strategies in order to make sure that you reach your financial goals. Now, if you feel like, hey, I don't feel like growing my following and building my personal brand and even starting my own business. I just want to make money online, period. I mentioned something here very quickly in this video that's called social closer, which is, in my opinion, the easiest way that anybody can make $10,000 per month online or more. So if you want to find out exactly how that works, how to do it yourself, and how social closing works, there's going to be a link down here or right here. Go watch it, where we explain absolutely everything on how to become a social closer.